So friends, the month of May started with Donald Trump being found guilty of 10 counts of criminal contempt of court. But justice was not done with Donald Trump, because the month of May ended with a jury convicting Donald Trump, finding him guilty of 34 felony crimes. Because justice matters. Friends, here's a short recap of the legal stories for the month that was May 2024. So friends, today we start with a headline. Trump doesn't rule out political violence if he loses. Here is a short recap of the legal stories for the month that was April 2024. Well, friends, Judge Merchan just exposed for all to see one of Donald Trump's lies. So friends, Hope Hicks' testimony as a prosecution witness against Donald Trump may end up hurting Donald Trump in ways that are not entirely obvious yet. So friends, 10 counts of criminal contempt of court for Donald Trump. And yet, still no actual accountability. Equal application of the rule of law. Well, friends, a storm rolled in to a New York City courtroom today. That's right, witness Stormy Daniels finally took the stand in Donald Trump's 2016 election interference trial. You know, friends, we've been hearing a lot about catch and kill in Donald Trump's New York State Court prosecution. Well, more and more, it's looking like federal court judge Aileen Cannon has caught and killed Donald Trump's Florida case. That's his prosecution for illegally retaining classified documents, obstructing justice, and violating our nation's espionage laws. Well, friends, we just learned that the Georgia State Court of Appeals will take up the issue of whether Judge Scott McAfee was correct in his ruling that District Attorney Fani Willis is not disqualified from prosecuting Donald Trump. So friends, in something of a surprise twist in Donald Trump's criminal case in New York, the prosecutors just announced that they will not call as a witness Karen McDougal. You recall Miss McDougal? That's another woman whose story about an affair with Donald Trump was caught and killed to benefit Donald Trump politically. What does it mean that the prosecutors have decided not to call Miss McDougal? Well, friends, an appeals court just affirmed Steve Bannon's criminal conviction, and Bannon is now one giant step closer to having to serve his prison term. So, friends, have you ever asked yourself what can be done about Judge Aileen Cannon's pro-Trump bias? Well, you can file a judicial misconduct complaint form. How? Let's talk about that. So friends, there was one line in particular today from Michael Cohen in his testimony in Donald Trump's New York criminal trial that perfectly and directly sums up not just the person Donald Trump is, but the criminal Donald Trump is. Well, friends, 50 years ago, congressional Republican leaders marched to the White House to demand the resignation of one of their own, a Republican criminal president of the United States. But today, congressional Republicans marched to a New York courtroom to support a criminal former president of the United States. Well, friends, star prosecution witness Michael Cohen does well on the witness stand, while Trump lawyer stumbles. Well, friends, Donald Trump's defense attorney, Todd Blanche, is done cross-examining Michael Cohen. Next up, the prosecutors will conduct their redirect examination of Cohen. What can we expect from the prosecution's redirect? Well, friends, it looks like another Supreme Court justice has sent up an unmistakable signal that he's throwing his lot in with the insurrection.
We could spend the whole time talking about his background, but let me just say, David, welcome, and I'm so thrilled to have you here to chat with our Justice Matters audience.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
If you wouldn't mind taking us back to a 27-year-old, David Hume Kennerly, when I read you were appointed by President Gerald Ford very early on after he became president as the official White House photographer.
You know, friends, at your birthday party, you usually get served birthday cake. At Rudy Giuliani's birthday party, oh, he got served all right, but it wasn't just birthday cake. Well, friends, I have to admit, Donald Trump's lead defense attorney, Todd Blanche, did score 2 points during his cross-examination of star witness Michael Cohen. The problem for Trump is the prosecutors scored the other 98 points. So friends, in my 30 years as a prosecutor, I don't think I ever saw a defense witness blow up a defendant's case quite the way Donald Trump's friend Bob Costello blew up Trump's case. Well, friends, after repeatedly, incessantly telling the American people that he would testify in his criminal trial in New York, when the time came for him to take that witness stand and tell his side of the story, Donald Trump punked out. Well, friends, Judge Aileen Cannon has slowed Donald Trump's federal prosecution in Florida to a crawl. Or maybe she's just brought it to a complete stop. So, friends, if Donald Trump's lips are moving, he's probably lying, inciting violence, or both, all while being on pre-trial release in multiple criminal cases. Well, friends, could yet another gag order be in Donald Trump's future? For those of you scoring at home, that would be gag order number 4. Who knows? Maybe the 4th time's a charm. Yeah, probably not.
It sounds like, based on what I've read, you developed an incredibly close relationship with President Ford, with our former First Lady, Betty Ford.
I spent almost every day of his presidency with him, like all day long, like on Air Force One, in the car. At the end of work days, they would invite me to come up and have a drink with him up in the residence, and we wouldn't be talking about politics. I mean, they, for some inexplicable reason, liked having me around.
Well, friends, here we are, on the cusp of closing arguments in Donald Trump's first criminal trial, his first of 4. And I have a feeling Donald Trump's defense attorney is about to get schooled by the prosecutor. You know, friends, just when you thought Judge Aileen Cannon's bias in favor of Donald Trump couldn't be any more clear, she actually ups the disqualification ante. So, friends, in closing arguments in Donald Trump's criminal prosecution in New York, prosecutors make the case to the jury as to why they should hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes, while Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney, Todd Blanche, decides to stoop just as low as his client. Well, friends, Donald Trump was just found guilty of 34 felony crimes. Welcome, accountability. Let's talk about that, because justice matters.
who's mad.